Now, the loudspeaker debate is only blaring yet again, and this time in Karnataka. The Bommai government has issued a 15-day ultimatum for loudspeaker users to obtain a permission. Government has now said that it would strictly enforce the Supreme Court's guidelines on this matter if not followed. Let's have a look.
Karnataka government's new ultimatum. Chief Minister Bommai issues notice to pull down unauthorized speakers from religious places within 15 days. Yes, the loudspeaker row which sparked off in Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh is now echoing in Karnataka. After Hindu right-wing group Sri Ram Sene pushed the BJP government to show some guts like Yogi did in Uttar Pradesh and crack down on loudspeakers at mosques, the Bommai government has quickly responded with a notice. The Chief Minister held a meeting with senior officers in Bengaluru and decided that a 15-day deadline be given to pull down all illegal loudspeakers and bring down decibel levels of those with permissions in place.
We are sure that law and order will not be disturbed and law and order will not be given into the hands of miscreants who are trying to disturb Karnataka's harmony.
Sri Ram Sene on Monday had launched protests across several temples in Bengaluru, Mysuru, Mandya, Bengam, Dharwad and Kalaburgi. They played the Hanuman Chalisa on temple loudspeakers, following which Bengaluru police stormed in to detain a few. Karnataka Congress calls this move an election gimmick orchestrated by the BJP.
Since elections are going to take place next year, you can be sure that one more issue is now going to crop up, and that is also going to be a communal one. So after the end of the Azan issue, there is going to be some other thing which is going to try to keep the communal divide active, and this is in the run-up to elections in 2023.
Karnataka government though remains firm on the order. Instructions have been given to take strict legal action against those who do not comply with the Supreme Court mandated loudspeaker guidelines. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, now we know that Karnataka government is not the only state, Karnataka, of course, not the only state where loudspeakers have become a raging issue. We're looking at several states, particularly BJP-ruled states, who've really cracked down on loudspeakers at large. I'm going to take you through some of those states that have now really pulled down loudspeakers that are illegal and brought down decibel levels of those that have permission. Uttar Pradesh, of course, we know that Yogi Adityanath was first to crack down on illegal loudspeakers, and about 1 lakh odd loudspeakers were removed from many of the religious sites, including mosques as well as temples. And then you have Maharashtra, where the real debate sparked off, where we're looking at the MNS now extensively demanding for the Uddhav Thackeray to crack down on loudspeakers in the state of Maharashtra. Apart from that, of course, Karnataka, like I did mention, has now given a 15-day ultimatum to all those religious sites using loudspeakers. Either get your permission in 15 days, if not, if it's illegal, pull it down, and have strictly said legal action will be taken against those who do not comply with the Supreme Court's orders. Of course, we're looking at Madhya Pradesh on the other hand now, which is a BJP-ruled state, contemplating on enforcing stricter norms when it comes to loudspeakers. Now, we know that loudspeakers have become a flashpoint in several states. In the last month or so, we're looking at quite a debate on whether or not loudspeakers must be allowed in religious places, and if at all it is present, then what should be the real decibel levels. I'm going to quickly cut across to our guest joining us, Mohan Krishna, BJP spokesperson. We also have Brijesh Kalappa, Congress spokesperson, both joining us from Karnataka on this issue. Let me start with Mohan. Mr. Mohan, here your government has given a 15-day ultimatum. Have you come under pressure from the right-wing Hindu group Sri Ram Sene? Is Mutalik's word echoing that you all really finally buckled?
Good evening, Nabila. Absolutely no. It is not under pressure. We have, the notice has been given. It is absolutely adhering the Supreme Court norms, where it was not done earlier. Since it has become an issue, the people should not take law into their hands. any miscreants for that matter, for that to clear off that, to see that the government has got all the statistics and the issues will not be diverted to other communal issues. For that matter, we have government under Mr. Bommai has issued a notice to all the, ultimatum to all the...
Right, but why was this not done? This could have been easily done earlier. Did you have to wait for a Hindu right-wing group to come and create chaos? Because Sri Ram Sene, we know very well, do not have a clean image. They've assaulted women in Mangaluru. They're the moral police, many of them have been booked with criminal charges. This is the Sri Ram Sene who's dared the Bommai government to say, if you have guts, show us how you can crack down.
It is not because of Pramod Mutalik's words or the other people's words or whatever may be.
Well, but Pramod Mutalik launched a protest on Monday. Basavaraj Bommai issues the notice on Tuesday.
This was decided earlier, but only the things have happened yesterday. That's all. It is today. There is nothing. You need not have to read between the lines here, Nabila. It is very clear to adhere to the Supreme Court norms. We have not made any new mandatory rules, or we have not brought in any new rules for that matter. It is whatever is the Supreme Court, the decibels they have put up.
Well,
proposed,
right, we get your point. We know where you're coming from, and this is exactly my point to Brijesh Kalappa. What the Karnataka BJP government is doing is really coming from a legal standpoint. They should have done this earlier. In fact, you should have done it earlier. Congress has been in power in Karnataka more than what the BJP has. For the amount of years that you all have governed the state, was there never a point that you all thought to implement Supreme Court's guidelines strictly? Was that appeasement politics that you were playing?
The first is that insofar as the year is concerned, 2005-2006, we didn't have our government, and Mr. Dharam Singh had just demitted office. And in 2006, as you know, it was a government in which Mr. Kumaraswamy was heading the government along with the BJP. So I'm really not very familiar with the facts. But in any event, the BJP came back to power in 2008. So 2006 to 2008. Was Kumaraswamy.
BJP has barely completed a term. You've completed a full term. No,
I'm saying that 2006 to 2008 was Kumaraswamy.
Not going back to history. My point is, Mr. Kalappa, you've been in power in Karnataka for way too long for you not to have acted on the Supreme Court's ruling. No,
I'm only giving you the.
No, we get it. We get the statistics of.
So if somebody is trying to blame us. If they're trying to blame us, I'm only saying that they're equally to blame. This is one thing. Two is that, as you know, this is not an issue, it's not a real issue before the people, right? Just like the hijab was not an issue before the people, just like halal or jatka was not an issue before the people, just like whether Muslim, sellers could sell their wares outside temples could not be an issue, just like the present issue is not even an issue before the people, right? But who is creating this issue? These are right-wing groups. Whom are they affiliated to? They are affiliated to the BJP. And why are they doing it? Because the BJP is running with the hares and hunting with the hounds. It's very clear. Why are they doing it? Because they have nothing to show for in terms of performance, and therefore they'll be facing an election in the next
why is
year.
Why is the Congress not opposing this vehemently? Why is there such a soft stance taken by the party? Are you worried of upsetting your Hindu vote base?
No, there's no question of upsetting anybody's vote base. Ultimately, it's a question of decibel, right? And everybody is affected by the decibels. If there's a huge noise, then no sensible person can say, no, I'm going to live with it, or I like it.
And there is noise. Loudspeakers anywhere. Nobody wants to have loudspeakers right at your ear. And
exactly
in
what I'm
many
saying.
areas, there are loudspeakers that are much higher than the decibel levels. You all should have regulated it. Now that the BJP is doing, you call this communal politics, could be slightly unfair.
We are not calling it communal politics. If you look at the pattern, right, issue after issue after issue after issue appears to be only targeting one community.
Right, Mr. Mohan, you're targeting the Muslim community, ousting them from business, boycotting Muslim traders, the hijab issue that was escalated under your government, now the halal issue and now the azhar issue. What's with targeting one community? That's the allegation that you received from the Congress.
I will just ask Mr. Brijesh Kalappa why he was beating around the bush to say that they have ruled he should have said that we have ruled the state. We have not done it. He should have accepted it. Instead of that, why he is talking about all other issues now? coming to the point, we are not targeting any community or any religion for that matter. We are trying to, the hijab issue has not been raised by us, it has been raised by PFI. Who has supported PFI? Mr. Siddaramaiah and Mr. Congress people, they have supported the 173 cases. Who has withdrawn that? Siddaramaiah. Who was the chief minister? Congress. Siddaramaiah was the chief minister. Who was ruling then? Congress. Why? Coming to the Azan, we have not spoken. They should have done it. It is absolutely appeasement politics. तुष्टीकरण का महत्व देने का काम एक ही कर सकते हैं.
Mr. Mohan, is this crackdown equally across religious sites, including temples? Because we know even temples have loudspeakers, and even they blare during festivities, and several times in the evening, during the evenings, you have temples also having, raising religious scripts that are sung on loudspeakers. Will there be an equal crackdown across all religious sites?
Absolutely. See, we are not. See, sabka saath, sabka vishwas hai hamara kaam. It is not like Congress. Targeting only. I will ask today Mr. Brijesh Kalappa, who has started the communal politics, polarization in Karnataka, who has started Tipu Jayanti then, who has asked,
Mr. Kalappa, all for you to respond.
Started. How many people have died? How many years we have struggled to stop that issue? Why? Is it not a appeasement politics? He is talking about
Mr. Kalappa.
BJP elections. What are they talking about?
See, the first thing is that he says that the PFI is hand in glove with the Congress party. I'd only like to ask the BJP spokesperson this question, that Hindu Hriday Samrat, Mr. Narendra Modi is in power for the last 8 years, right? And every time they speak of any violence against right-wing groups of the RSS or the BJP or the Bajrang Dal, they always blame the SDPI or the PFI. Simple question. Why have you not banned the organizations for the last 8 years? Why? Because the BJP stands to gain. BJP stands to gain with the existence of organizations like the PFI, like the SDPI, like the MIM. All of these are paid organizations of the BJP. All of these help the BJP because both of them are two communal sides of the same coin. So it helps them. It helps the BJP where...
The way you treat it.
Will the gentleman let me speak, or he only believes that this is the way to win a debate?
Mr. Mohan, the BJP has also been in power for a little while now. Just closer to the elections, issues like this of communal color being raised looks like almost a script is being followed.
The script is done by Congress. BJP is not following any script for that matter. All the communal riots, I will ask one more question to Brijesh Kalappa and to you also. Who is the Congress MLA who has done DJLD, KJLD riots, who has attacked the police station? Is it BJP? BJP MLA?
Why
Their
don't
own
you name
MLA.
him? Why don't you name him?
Murthy's house was burned.
You please
they
name
have not
him.
taken. The same Sampath Raj will be, he is going to garland the Congress, Yuvraj, Rahul Gandhi. This is how they do it. ये तुष्टीकरण नहीं है. This is not communal.
Mr. Kalappa, Congress backing rioters, he's almost fallen short of naming a Congress MLA. I'm not going to do it. You know who he's speaking of?
No, I don't know. I honestly don't know what he's speaking about. As it is, the BJP spokesperson, he speaks in a disjointed fashion in which I'm not able to understand. But I don't know what does DJ hardly, what the MLA has done.
Well, there's not much to understand.
He's himself the victim of violence.
It's a clear-cut allegation that while you're appeasing the minorities, they're probably holding up for the majority. This has been an issue for long now, that loudspeakers has been a problem, and it is irritable to have it above decibel levels. You should have done it, and now when the BJP does it, you're calling this communal. So that's a question to be raised on you as well.
No. See, then let's look at the number of years. They have been in power, like I told you, from Kumaraswamy to Yediyurappa. That is for about 6 years, right? We were in power for 5 years. Then after that, they again come back to power. They've been in power now for 3 years. So they have 6 plus 3, 9 years
to actually measure how long you've been in power. Even if your power within a month, barely. Actually, you know what? Not even a month. Basavaraj Bommai must be lauded. He did it in a day's time. In 1 day's time, he held a high-level meeting. He held a committee, asked for notice to be sent out that in 15 days, this must be regulated. How hard is it?
No, see, only when there is a problem, Nabila, does the government attempt to solve it. Where was the problem during the Congress years? There was nobody ever said during the Congress years, during the entirety of Mr. Siddaramaia's term, that look, we have a problem with the azan, we have the problem of loudspeakers. Nobody ever said that. You should give me a single instance. Only when there's a problem that you
that
try
nobody had a
to
problem with loudspeakers. Well, it's a fact, Mr. Kalappa, that there have been several complaints made to the district officials, several complaints that have been made to the local authorities about certain loudspeakers that have really been a problem, and people may not have overwhelmingly spoken about it, but now it's surfaced because there was an undercurrent. But anyway, thank you very much for joining us. The Karnataka government, of course, has given a 15-day ultimatum: either pull down illegal speakers, if not, bring down the decibels if you have permissions. We're going to continue tracking that.